We're back, ladies and gentlemen, for even more Misfits. So, Evan's motorcycle, carrying trespass, comes to a halt on the other side of the river. There's a pier down below, like across a chain link fence, in which the tugboats are moored, or a tugboat is moored. And it has it has like a fire hose mounted to put out fires on ships on the river.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm going for, obviously, because I need to be able to put a stop to this woman.
Yeah. So when he shouts something annoying at you, it's like, "Take care, babe," as you leave the motorcycle and jump the chain link fence. A couple of people are like on the pier, looking across the river at the giant goop monster that's like entering into the basin. It's not entering into the basin. The basin is at the end of the river. It's entering into the water.
Yes.
And when you come towards them, they look up at you in surprise. What do you do?
The people on the tugboat, you said?
The people on the pier next to it.
On the pier. Yeah. No. If they're not on the tugboat itself, she's got no time to stop and explain anything. What she needs to do is get that hose turned towards the creature. But she also gets an idea on the way there. It is just now stepping into the water, you said?
Yeah, it's like starting to head towards the pram now, the barge.
Okay, in that case, what she will do is she will run up to the bridge of the tugboat, if it's possible to get up there, and see if there's something like a loudspeaker, a megaphone, something like that.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
She wants to basically shout to every ship within hearing range for them to turn their fire hoses on this creature as well. And basically to I think she uses the expression to wash the slime out with the bath water.
All right, want to use them? Okay, I think you can try it.
And I think I want to try to provoke people to do that.
Yeah, that is what you need to do.
Let's
go. You can do it.
You can get people to sail out there.
Be a hero.
Yeah.
Do the hero thing!
Very much not so, I think. But
do the hero thing! You can do it! Aww.
Potential,
yeah.
Potential. So, firstly, like,
oh my god, the dice roll hates us today.
It's getting to be bizarre. I mean, take a look at it. We've failed the last 5 rolls.
You jump into the wheelhouse. You do actually find like there is like
megaphone.
an onboard megaphone with like a little fucking microphone, like a cord microphone you can pick up. And you give the shout in there, and no like other boats come out. Like there's no immediate response. However, you hear like a movement next to you, and you look sideways, and you see like a guy dressed like a sailor for all intents and purposes, like grabbing the wheel and like putting the boat into motion. And it's like, all right, let's do this.
Thank you.
I hope we got a plan for what we do. We can only keep that thing off for so long.
Yes, but keep me within range of hitting it with the water faucet, and you out of the range of getting stepped on.
Do you really have -3 on Superior?
No, I have.
But she has a condition.
-1, but I have a condition.
So it's 2 higher.
Yeah, I have -1 and -2 extra from guilty.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay.
So the boat pulls out with the crew on it. Like they jump on it from the pier, like jump on the tugboat, and they put out into the river.
Yes.
Exactly.
But that's okay, because what I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to use the water hose as a weapon, basically. I mean, that's the point. I'm trying to hit her with a stream of very cold water.
The hose is not gonna be more than a stall tactic.
No, but what I want to do is I want to very specifically buy time for entry to get here with the freezer, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to keep trying to wash away the same leg from under her instead of spraying her body or whatever. I'm going to try to literally just wash away one of the legs that she's standing on.
All right.
And in doing so, I hope to buy him just maybe 2 more minutes of time to get here with the freezer. And she's going to say so into the headset, or the the earpiece, and going to say, I can give you maybe a couple of minutes, but no more than that. You need to be here right now.
Then Moira will say, I can help too. I, for some reason, know how to freeze shit.
Yeah, Moira, do that again. And teach me.
So
I don't strictly know how I did it.
So you start like we see Cassidy, Futility Cassidy, like lumber like through the water, and the river basin is kind of deep, and she's still like waist above water. She's grown quite large, moving towards the barge. That is like the people on the barge like have no clue what to do. They're panicking.
No, but
the little boat that could like comes heroically across the river towards them.
No, I just imagine that at the time.
I love that.
Go, put.
Yes. But I'm turning on the water hose, and I'm aiming it for, the nearest leg. So let's say I'm aiming it for her left leg, and I'm trying to hit, like right where the knee joint would conceivably be, so as to make her unstable and make her not move as fast, or even maybe having to stop for a few moments here and there to regoop her leg or whatever.
Yeah, you start like stalling her with the hose.
Yes, that's what I'm doing really. Is that
And-
directly engage, or am I just doing it?
I can see you directly engaging here. I guess actually no, because this is not gonna damage her, and if you're not really exchanging blows, then it's not directly engaged. But you do still do it, and she's like you make her not beeline directly for the thing. It slows her down.
Yeah.
Giving Entry and Moira time to recoup the time lost back further up the road.
Quick question.
Yeah.
I know this isn't nice to say, but could it be provoking her to shift her attention a little?
Yes, that could be the case.
I know it's not nicely done. Sorry.
No, it's a good call.
It was just you looked like, or you sounded like you were looking for, some kind of roll she could make to see if it worked.
There might be more potential.
We can I think calling it a provoke is absolutely appropriate.
All right, I'll try it. It's another -3 to the roll.
I'm so sorry. But the team, you can do it.
We don't have any.
Oh.
So you still successfully do it. Like you do stall Cassidy. She's like.
That's 6 rolls in a row we've failed.
Huge and goopy and terrifying. And then we see
You do
like,
have -3s with that one.
The hose like shooting towards her, and she's like holding a hand up to be like, stop it. Like, what are you doing? That's annoying. And it's definitely stalling her.
I'm gonna freeze her.
However, you also realize that as you're doing this, like, this creature is super dangerous. It is not meaningfully affected by the water beyond, like, slowing it. Mark hopeless.
Now, I think at this point, I'm going to turn and look up to the wheelhouse and shout to the captain, "We've done everything we can. Just get your men to safety."
And he looks to you and he says, "I don't know much about that thing, but if it comes close to that barge, things are gonna get really messy. We're not going anywhere. Keep the hose aimed at it. We're going in. and he
Oh,
moves,
no.
he moves the ship.
Like,
further towards-
this is getting really heroic, except it's a goop monster in the tugboat. I love that.
The goop monster and the tugboat. Who will win?
Fucking like old heroic Star Trek
This
music.
is so brilliant. It is so good.
It's totally like the YT plane doing a loop-de-loop it's not supposed to do. Come on, tugboat, you can do it!
So,
All right, well,
meanwhile,
so the others have a chance to hopefully freeze her.
Yeah,
meanwhile, on
Moira
the bank
is
of the river-
gonna... Moira is gonna see if she can actually do the same thing again and then freeze all the water around its legs. And it.
Yeah, you want to see if you can use another sorcery to freeze the water around it.
Yeah,
Do it.
just like I did it the other time. I got angry. Yes, stop!
All right. Yeah, both of you like arrive.
Nice.
She got angry.
What a way to break the
Curse.
the streak of missed rolls.
Bullhead.
Streak of potential.
So you're
Yeah.
looking out into the river, and
Ow.
you're like, you seemed like you could do some freezing stuff, right? Like you did a thing before. You're not sure where it came from, but you did a thing, and it like felt kind of like natural to you in some way. Like you're not sure exactly how.
For some reason, it felt like when she did the technopath stuff.
Yeah, it's
Like,
kind of like
that kind of intuition thing, yes.
So some magic words come to you, like seemingly like unbidden. They just like pop into your mind as you try and do this. So what are those?
I don't think anyone really understands them. Not even herself at the moment.
Yeah, is that then? Like,
And it sounds like a snake.
yeah, I was gonna say
Oh.
like so it's like a speech bubble full of weird runes.
Imagine when Harry Potter tries to speak to a snake.
Right, it's parcel tongue.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it sounds like a lot of slithering
so I think we see
made
like
into words.
some snow like starts like just like whipping in circles around Cassidy, and then the surface of the water starts freezing, and Cassidy takes a step forward, the ice cracks, and like but she slows down, right, and then the ice like reforms, and she takes another slower step, and it cracks again. You've kind of like trapped her for the moment, like she's frozen stuck in a river that like consistently refreezes every time she breaks it. And the barge is trying to like steer away, but it's like a big slow thing, so it takes a while for it to meaningfully turn. Entry,
yes.
what's going on your end as you see Moira like conjure up the winds of winter?
First, a second of admiration with a small text bolt saying "cool." And
Literally.
yes, and then
I'm a very cool bitch, I know.
Then he
Frigid.
wants to really find that fish storage, so we can pilfer some tech that he can repurpose into, I think, a freeze bomb.
All right. Why don't you give me a assess the situation roll to see if you can find something appropriate to what you're doing.
Even with guilty, I at least have a plus score.
You can do it. Yay!
Barely.
Hey, but it's
But
still,
it's a hit.
It's a hit.
All right. So you get one question you may ask me.
Yes. I just need to find them again. What here can I use to create a freeze bomb? And I want you to tell me that there's a fish storage nearby with stuff.
Yeah, I don't know that there would be, but
we
There
are
could be
approaching
other
the
places.
harbor.
Maybe something for meat or something. They also have
Or an
to
ice
freeze
cream
it down.
parlor.
there could be something here. Let's see.
I mean, there are
Nitrogen?
a
Liquid
lot of
nitrogen?
different things that you need to keep things in cold storage for as soon as you are anywhere near the water.
True.
Again, fish, meats, any kind of fresh produce, that
Frozen
sort
goods,
things.
of course.
Frozen goods of any kind. Anything that's being transported up or down the river that needs to be kept fresh would need to be in cold storage.
You know what? I don't. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you look around and you spot like there's a facility a little ways up the river. There's like a chem plant called Ironex. That's also totally where the chemical barge that is transporting this shit out into the seas is from. They absolutely have like liquid nitrogen or something.
Yes. I want to go get it. ASAP.
Yeah, you can pop over there. So, like,
he doesn't teleport; he telepops.
But arriving over there, the stuff is like they have liquid nitrogen in like these freestanding tanks. What do you do?
Right. Anyone standing there, or?
Yeah, they're like people working, but like it's not milling with people. It's like there's a guy driving a forklift.
I need those freeze tanks to stop giant goo monster. Go away! And then he starts fixing up the. I think he takes 2 freeze tanks and starts disassembling his meteor bat because he needs the power reverberator from that one to make the effect more powerful.
Yeah.
Can I give him an idea that pops into his mind?
Yeah, you can you as players you can share ideas freely.
Because it has to do with Moira. He could take the forklift, he could take the entire bats, and have Moira throw it at her.
Yes, that's a good idea. Once I've configured it into a freeze bomb, I'll definitely drive it over to her.
So once you start like messing with the freeze tank, the guy like driving the forklift like stops, like comes running over to you. He's like, "Wait, what are you doing, kid? Get away from that! That's dangerous."
I needed to stop the giant goo monster. Weren't you listening?
Kid, you don't understand what you're doing. You need to not touch it. That thing can freeze your arms and legs off. He's not paying attention to your heroics. He's just being like, go away from the dangerous thing, stupid child. He's telling you who you are and how the world works. Do you listen to him?
No. Definitely not.
Wondrous. Would you roll to reject his influence?
I will, and I will definitely also use my I don't care what you think move that gives me a +2 on the roll.
Damn
You
right.
can do it! Ignore the old man. He doesn't know how it works.
I'm gonna roll it normally because there's... Oh, can I just... Yes, I could. Never mind. Fuck off.
Ha!
Roll hit. Choose 2 from the list.
Yes, is it in 1 or 2?
It's on 2.
Need to find 2.
Third paragraph. Third column.
Reject someone's influence. I can choose 2.
Yeah.
I would like to shift 1 label up and 1 down and cancel the influence and take 1 forward against them.
All right. Cool. So what label do you shift?
I shift my mundane down because clearly I'm not just some normal kid who needs to stay the fuck away. I am in fact a super genius inventor who's doing stuff, so I'll put freak up because I can't put superior up any higher.
Right. I like to think that this is something you're saying out loud to him.
I think he'll say something along the lines of, "Look, mister, I know more about this stuff than you'll ever know. Go away so I can fix the situation."
I've forgotten more about chemistry than you'll ever know.
Yes, something like that.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, you start like messing around with it.
Oh, and since I got a +1 forward against him, I say, but if you want to help, you can drive this bomb that way.
Awesome.
Because he already knows how to do that. Smart. This is why you're the genius and he's the work drone.
Clearly.
So why don't you provoke this guy?
with a +1, I assume.
Yes. There it is.
Well, it seems like we've had a bit of luck here.
Bit of
Knock on wood.
reversal.
Oh my god.
So he stands like stunned once you like finish speaking to him, and he shakes his head. He's like, "Kids, okay, fine. You just take care of yourself. What do you need?"
I need this thing delivered to my snake friend down the riverside. She can throw this at the monster. He points in the direction.
He like gets behind the wheel of the forklift and like rolls over and like lifts up the tank that you're sitting on tinkering with.
Yes.
And he looks out and up at you, and he's like, you know, it used to be a lot simpler before your generation. And he like.
Guess
beeps
who I'm not
backwards.
hiring when I get old enough?
Lol.
Ouch.
So, you want to do something like with this thing? You want to?
Yes, I want to use my alien tech move.
Okay. Where do you get alien technology from?
From the bat that I deconstructed.
I don't
Either
feel
that or
like
in that case, my travel satchel thingy.
I'm reticent here. Like, where did this come from? This wasn't here before.
Well, I carry a lot of swag around to modify things on the fly, and
Yeah, but you like what I've heard you describing to me is that you're carrying things around that you've made, right? Where is
made
the
or
alien
parts to
technology
make
from?
stuff.
Yeah, where is the alien technology from? If you are in possession of it, how did that come to happen?
Clearly, it's if alien tech exists, which it clearly does, it would be very stupid of me not to get my hands on some of it.
Mm-hmm.
As a tech genius.
How did that happen?
I think my dad might have had something lying around the lab, and I took it.
Interesting. So you brought the Whatsamajigger today, not knowing really what it is.
Yeah,
So,
I think this morning I felt like, you know what? If anything, I can brag about having this if I need to.
they were supposed to have show and tell today.
Lol.
All right.
Nice one.
So, yeah, okay. Tell me about your alien tech move.
So, when I alter technology with my alien tech, I roll a plus freak. On a hit, you create a device that can do something impossible once and then fizzle. When you roll a 10 plus, choose one. It works exceptionally well, or you get an additional use out of it. On a miss, the device works, but it has a completely unintended side effect that the GM will reveal to you when you use it.
That's actually kind of cool.
All right.
I thought so.
Give us the roll.
I know what the alien tech is. It's a sonic screwdriver.
Ha. Ooh.
So it has it works, but has an unintended side effect.
Yep.
Sure. That'll be interesting.
Yep.
And it only shows when you use it.
I'm sure Daniel is gonna be merciful with it.
There he is.
Can't believe I said that.
So
Now he starts evil laugh.
you modify the stuff to create a freeze bomb.
Yes.
Okay.
If anything works on this bitch lady, it's liquid nitrogen.
So let's remind ourselves that the thing that works here isn't that, oh, this thing stops her, but it has an unintended side effect. This is, you've successfully created a freeze bomb that will have an unintended side effect.
Yes.
Yep.
So yeah, this improvised alien tech freeze bomb is now rushing down the other side of the river from Iron X, the Iron X plant, carried aboard a forklift, driven by a man telling you about the way things used to be.
Yeah, I think I'm going to completely ignore him and over the communication device say, Mara, get ready to throw something dangerous.
Again?
That's not me.
I have to say, guys, I'm just gonna point this one out here. I like this comic book better than Halcyon City Defenders already.
This is hilarious.
It's so funny.
I mean, they're clearly targeted towards different audiences. This is the comical comic book, and the other one was clearly
We
heavier.
are the Misfits. We're not the Defenders. Basically, we have weird shit happen to us.
Oh god, yes, all the
Like
bloody
that's cool.
time.
We're anti-heroes because people doesn't see us as heroes, and everything just goes wrong. Like we forget our duffel bag with ammunition in it all the time. Stuff like that.
Moira, meanwhile, down on your end, you are starting to feel like, you're starting to feel
Tired?
like this. No, not tired. You're starting to feel like a little bit nervous as the heroic tugboat is like Cassidy is getting really close to the barge, and the tugboat seems to be adamant, and it's like just getting up in Cassidy's business and firing that like fire hose to keep her hesitating. And it's come to a point where you can't really freeze the water around Cassidy without sticking the tugboat in there, at which point it'll be in her path. But as you realize this, and you're like, you probably need to do something different now, there is the sound of a forklift coming rolling towards you with a liquid nitrogen canister on top of it. On top of which Entry is sitting. What does this alien tech look like? Because alien tech takes many forms. Is this like a biological squid thing that's also chrome that's on side of it? What does it look like?
Yes, I think let's go with the biological thing, but I think it's a weirdly roundish, polished, organic-looking oval, almost seed-like thing where sprouts that are also somehow cables have been attached to different things with a little clearly not alien tech button on it to arm the bomb.
Cool. Do you have any idea what this thing is?
It clearly does something about increasing the effect of whatever you rig it to or something.
Okay.
Entry, what the hell is that?
It's a freeze bomb. You don't get to throw it once I've armed it.
I get why you said something dangerous, but that's... It looks like an egg. What the hell?
It may or may not be from this dimension.
Mostly may not.
So I just throw it at her?
I need to press the button first, but then yes, please throw it, because I don't actually know how long it takes for it to detonate.
But, what?
It should be long enough.
Well, it's our only chance. The tugboat is getting too close to her. Alright, I'm getting ready to throw, and you press the button and jump.
Sounds like a plan.
She puts her tail around it, so the second he presses the bomb and jumps, she will throw it.
You might want to pull back just in case. Yeah.
So she holds it while the man pulls away on his forklift.
Okay, you ready?
I think so.
I'll count down from 3, and then I say now. I push the button, and you throw it, and I'll jump off. Okay?
Okay.
Actually, let me jump off, and then you throw it.
Chicken shit.
3, 2, 1. Now, beep. Jump.
And then she throws it. Hurls it directly at the woman's head.
Wonderful.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
I don't think there's any question that you can throw this. I don't think there's any question that you can hit it.
Yay.
The thing careens towards her, and timed as it is, it hits her like on the side of the head and continues. It doesn't like embed itself in her head and detonate it. Like it hits her and halfway goes into, halfway bounces off her. And just like as it continues over her shoulder, it's just in front of the face of the goop monster as it detonates in midair. The freeze bomb scattering like a mist and like a slurry of liquid nitrogen, freezing things like like in its blast radius, it sends out this like smoke, this cloud of frost. But that's not the only thing it does, of course. It has an unintended side effect. When the thing detonates, there is a momentary sense of vertigo, a silence in the air, and there's a little arc of lightning visible on it. Then the water underneath, for like the split second before it detonates, like the water bends downwards as though pushed by an unseen force. And then the tugboat, the water,
Oh no!
and the barge, and Cassidy gets pulled towards the same point in space, the detonation space of the bomb. And then it detonates. So it has a temporary, like, gravity, like, gravitational pull. As it just, like, yanks in everyone towards it. And then freezes everything in place. This happens in the span of, like, a really short time. But it is in the span of those short moments that we need to have Trespass step into character here. So, yes. Trespass, gravity fucks sideways for a second.
Yes.
What do you do, and
am I able to act at all? That's obviously the thing to ask right now is how much freedom of movement do I even have?
Well, you do see the bomb come flying.
If Daniel will allow it, I will add that way too late entry remembers to say, BOMB!
Yes, way too late is a good one. You can, like, there's that split second I said of like a little lightning arc and of that sense of like a heavy sense of vertigo.
Yeah.
In that split second,
at that moment, that's when she shouts to every man on board to get off the boat now.
Right. And I think everyone. Let's roll and see if everyone does so.
I don't want to kill someone.
See if everyone does so with no problem.
They're just gonna turn into popsicles.
So what? Where?
Please provoke them. I mean, they are gonna do.
Because I have minus.
They're gonna do it. You say it, and they will leap for it. The question is just like do you snap them out of their entranced moment of like, this is gonna go wrong, isn't it?
That's another potential for me. I have been making how many rolls tonight with -3?
Woof.
A lot.
Holy shit.
All right, so they jump
so far. I
life.
should probably tell you guys. So far tonight, I have earned 9 potential.
Holy fucking shit!
Impressive.
I will be getting another advance if I take. I'm up to 4 again now. So I've gotten 8 so far because I started with 2 potential, and I'm now up to 4 after having completed 1 already. So I might actually get my second advance today.
So people jump for dear life.
Yes.
Beers.
It's totally a thing that happens. And the tugboat continues like with no one at the helm. Then as you're all like jumping into the water, getting off the boat, the thing does its thing. It exerts the like change on gravity, and for a moment you all feel like really sick as you're like in the water, and it suddenly bends, and you feel like this pull on your back. It's like whoa. And then you're free of the zone of the pull, as suddenly like water just splashes in your face, as the water of the river and the barge like visibly like shifts and lurches and just like tilts towards this point in space, and then the frost bomb goes off, creating this like kind of this little like impromptu iceberg in the middle of the river. In the side of which is embedded a tugboat, part of a tipped-over barge full of nasty chemicals, the barrels of which are presently spilling into the river. Those that like get lurched free from their security by the sudden shift in gravity are like spilling over the side. and Cassidy like has half her form encased in ice, with the other half being like part of the goop monster's face and torso and like a free arm, still moving free, but ultimately being attached by way of frost bomb to the river.
I think immediately after entry will start calling for trespass over the communication.
I think there's a pretty good chance that she's going to have been knocked out, probably floating around on her.
You're like fictionally, this doesn't knock you out, unless you want to say like, yep, that happened.
Yeah, I that's what I'm saying. I think there's a pretty good chance that that's what she's currently. I have this image of her floating, where her face is upward. She's not drowning, but she's floating in the water with her face up, and for her mind, in her inner eye, she's floating in water, which is obviously quite wet. That's sort of what water is. But in her head, the last time she was in a situation this desperate and this panicked, she was surrounded by fire on all sides. So she's reliving that.
Ooh, interesting. So there's like you're temporarily KO'd and having a bad dream of it.
Yeah, having a dream of what happened when, the moments before she lost her eyesight, basically.
Cool.
And then got it back, but she didn't know that at first, obviously.
So how do we see this? Like, paint us a panel or two of your like case.
Yeah, but I think what we see is sort of, you see eagle eye perspective, where you see her just this little speck in the river, and then over the course of the next two panels, we focus in and you see that it's her floating on her back in the river, and that she's clearly unconscious. And then around the edge of the image, the edge of the picture, there's this almost crossfade. But what's on the other side of the crossfade of the drawing or the artwork is it's flames, and it's a smoke and flame filled room. And then the final picture is basically her standing in a room surrounded by fire, clutching her eyes, screaming in pain, clutching at her eyes. Her uniform colors are reversed of what they are now. So what is now black would be red, and vice versa in the dream. And she's having her eyes covered by her hands, and she's screaming.
All right. Gross.
Yep, very.
So, did we
that's,
catch it?
yes and no. So you've like basically frozen half of her. However, as we then look upon the half-frozen form of Cassidy, it like tries to move. We can see by the moving part, it's like trying to pull free of its own body, ostensibly. And like ice is cracking and splitting, and we have like little like snowflakes like pouring down everywhere, like frozen water drops. And Cassidy detaches from her frozen form, shrinking significantly in the process, becoming like only about 2 stories tall now, but is now like walking on the frozen piece of the river towards the tilted barge, and like grabs hold of like a yellow painted barrel and tears it open, and green goop like gets absorbed into her, and she starts growing again. She's now like interacting with the barge. If she consumes all of it, plus there's like a bunch of barrels in the river, things will get wildly out of control. You've taken a lot of wind out of her sails right now, right? She's way smaller, and she seems to be like not in a particularly good way, but she'll grow out of it. Because like she doesn't really obey the laws of her own, like, of human biology. What do you do?
Moira, you have to try your thing again. I'm gonna go see if I
I
can.
can't actually reach her anymore.
Right, let's see if we can find Trespass first then. He says and runs towards the water, feeling incredibly guilty about having just maybe blown up a teammate.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
it sounds to me like Entry is coming off as though he's not really having his head in the game. He is panicking about Trespass.
I think he is.
Yeah, Moira, do you pick up on this?
I'm pondering whether she's supposed to put on Hopeless herself, or she'll get a condition later anyway. But someone has to stop the lady before she turns 5 stories tall again.
And we don't seem equipped to do it.
Nope.
You really don't.
Well, I mean, that is... You're not equipped to do it as you are, but you've been very good at employing other means to do your work for you. So.
Yeah, for adults who always say, oh, teenagers can't do our job, they're surprisingly absent. Anyway.
Yep.
So, tell me, like, Entry is clearly, like, moving towards panic.
Yeah. So?
Do you, like, do you get smitten with the same vibe, or you're also like, fuck, right, like, we need to do something? Or do you want to, like, chill him out? Do you want to, like, make him calm down?
I can't do that. I have minus on everything.
I mean, that doesn't matter. It's not a question
Well,
of do you have the stats, it's a question of what do you do.
Stories will tell of a place full of missed rolls. So no, I'm not equipped. So she will let him go find Trespass, because he can teleport around after her.
Mm-hmm.
She cannot. So she will gingerly slide across the ice to go to the bitch lady who is made of goop and try to freeze her again.
Alright, so you start making your way that way.
She's still fucking quick, so yeah.
Entry, you want to get, you appear, like, you find, let me just rephrase. Entry, from the riverside, you see Trespass floating in the river.
Yeah, I think he's going to do a teleport dive into the river mix, which is probably something he's going to regret later when his suit is fried, but, you know.
It's fine. you pop into the air and, like, dive into the river. You swim out and get a hold of Trespass. She's floating on her back, presently not drowning, and she's breathing.
Susceptible to hypothermia in the very, very, very cold river.
Yes.
So let's get her to shore before my body locks up and I drown.
All right.
By swimming, because I still can't teleport people, and I don't want to take half of her with me and leave half of her behind.
I mean, that's
that would be.
Well, that seems like a bad idea.
very sensible. So you swim towards the shore. Moira, while he's doing that, you are moving across the ice. Everything is a bit slippery, but your form isn't, like, hampered by walking on 2 feet. It feels weird.
For some reason, her weight is perfectly distributed over the ice.
Yes, I was actually thinking that.
It feels a bit weird being you, but I feel like you do this surprisingly well, considering that one of your new powers is impossible mobility. Or
Exactly.
incredible mobility, whatever, so...
Impossible mobility.
There you go.
Reflexes of a superhuman snake. For some reason, it's superhuman. I don't know why.
Super snake.
Yes.
So what you're saying is you're a solid snake.
Shut up, Daniel. I'm not frozen. I weren't the one hit by the freeze bomb.
So you cross the ice towards the goopy form of Putridity Cassidy. She's still growing as she's, like, ripping open, like, yellow barrels with skull marks on them and, like, pouring into the nice green toxic insides.
Yeah. Moira at this point has lost all patience and yells at her, I told you to fucking stop, lady. And then she will try to freeze the entirety of her because fuck her and I hate her and she's annoying and she should just die now.
Interesting. Okay. I feel like at this point, like, you gain her attention. She's aware that you're doing freezy stuff, and she doesn't want you to. So give me a roll to directly engage.
Yay.
Because I think you could do that with your current
Not with all my minuses.
like use of powers.
There you go!
There it is.
Nice.
All right.
Full hits.
Wow.
Nice.
So, take your picks.
Huh.
You could take. Well, we've been trying to take mobility from her all along. I mean,
Maybe take her consciousness from her. Then she'll go back to sleep.
Yeah, but I think that's one of the ones that Daniel think. That's sort of like a winning move.
Yeah.
That's true.
But we have been trying to immobilize her by cold, so that might be an idea.
I am going to... I'm not going to resist or avoid the blows, because at this point she's so reckless she doesn't give a damn.
You could take the goop barrels from her.
I'm going to...
Yeah, taking the goop barrels would be a great idea as well.
I'm going to take all mobility from her
Alright, you take her mobility away.
by freezing her, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And even though she's a goop monster, I'm going to frighten the shit out of her.
Well, he chooses whether you frighten, surprise, or impress.
Yeah.
He
That's
does?
Daniel.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
just pick
it's Daniel
the
who does. Yeah, you pick the
Okay.
option. and he pick-
Impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
Alright. So that's 2. What did you pick else? Oh wait, you picked 2. Okay, cool. So
Yeah,
you
But
take
do I get more than that? That seems weird.
you exchange blows with her. That works. Then you freeze her legs, and then you impress, surprise, or frighten her. Cool. Let me just get. This.
Oh, I should have used my last move.
Which one?
Not human enough. When you directly engage your threat in a terrifying fashion, and she was angry as hell, mark a condition to choose another additional option, even on a miss.
Alright. So you move forward to like use your ice thing on her, and you feel like you can like project magical ice from your hands. You're like shooting like this wispy frost. And as you do so, she like extends her arm towards you, and you like slip sideways, avoiding her goopy outstretched arm, as you like trying to like dip around her and keep freezing her, and like you manage to like lock down her legs. Yeah. She's still growing, like, because she's touching the goop. But you've like locked down her legs for now.
Yeah.
As you do so, she finally like kind of like blurps out, like she being unable to move, she kind of like just like grows out towards you,
Yeah.
capturing you in a wave of slimy goop. You find yourself like suddenly like caught within it, moving your snake and like moving with your human arms to like push it away. You just like sink deeper inside it. It feels
Ew.
uncomfortable and suffocating, and like you've seen a truck vanish inside her. Being in there is going to dissolve you or teleport you to another dimension or something awful.
Okay.
You're in a tough spot here as this happens, but you've locked her down temporarily, but now you're caught in the sticky goop. Meanwhile, Entry, you climb up onto the riverside with Trespass.
Yes, and I want to check if she's still breathing or if I need to administer CPR. And for once, it's not actually a move to get get at her.
Correct.
Yeah.
She Like, I think by Joan's description, she's fine.
She's not emotionally fine right now, but yeah, other than that,
In that case, I'll try gently nudging her. Hey, wake up. Please.
she does definitely try to definitely try to come around, to get her bearings.
So you're in a bad dream, and then suddenly, Entry is telling you to wake up, and suddenly you're on the river.
Yeah. And she opens her eyes. Not that really looks, of course, any different than it always does, but
It's movement.
Exactly. And she tries to sit up.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm so sorry. I should have warned you earlier. I'm so sorry.
She doesn't answer. She just tries to get to her feet to figure out what the hell is going on.
Right. The goop monster shrunk, but it's still here.
And as you look out to assess what's that status, you see Moira get sucked into Cassidy.
Get Moira out.
Right. Okay.
And I'm gonna at that point she's groggy, obviously, for one thing. She's completely not she's not fully there. She's not fully with it, with what has just happened. And
Re-establishing your faculties.
Not only that, but she's also realizing that she has nothing that she can throw at this now. There's absolutely nothing that she can.
You don't have anything on you.
No, but that's the point. She does not believe that there is any. She believes she's been beaten.
Okay. Is this something that you dramatically express so that Entry can interact with it?
No.
Okay. This is a thought bubble.
Yes, it is. It's probably not even that. It's an empty feeling. It's mostly a look on her face more than anything else.
Rad. Okay. So it's the I know what face you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Entry. Status. What do you do?
Take a second to calm down now that I know she's not dead, and I didn't kill her, so that's good. And then it's time to teleport out to make sure my other friend doesn't die.
All right. You appear before Cassidy, before Putridity Cassidy. As you see, have you seen My Hero Academia?
I have not.
Okay. Well, she's partially sucked inside Cassidy. You can see her her arms reaching out, and you can see parts of her face, signaling whatever she wants to signal. But you don't want her to shout right now because then she'll breathe Cassidy.
Yeah. Entry will look around, and then he will
assessing the situation.
I actually have an idea.
Okay, what's your idea?
But if you want me to, I can.
No. I when you say I look around, my GM instincts kick in, and I'm like, oh, are you doing a move thing?
In that case, no. He takes out one of his little blue eggs, taps one of the barrels with the stuff she likes, and then uses the egg to project a hologram around himself. So he looks like a big, juicy barrel of chemicals. And then he shouts at her, "Hey, slime mama, want a snack?" He basically wants to lure her away from Moira.
Of course.
But she's locked down.
Roll to defend.
He might still try to reach in his direction.
Yep. Roll to defend.
Joy. Hey, I actually did it.
Okay. So you expose yourself to danger, or escalate the situation.
Yes, I expose myself to danger.
Yeah, you do. Okay. So,
But I would like to add a team to the pool. I can do that, right?
yep. Yeah, you can. So a team goes in the pool.
Does this count as making a sacrifice?
That's a great question.
It is basically take me instead.
I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. I'll take it. Sure.
In that case, I will clear my guilty.
So, you expose yourself to danger here.
Yep.
But you do. But you also do save Moira. So Cassidy distends her body and stretches towards the provoking barrel, and in doing so, peels off of Moira to the extent that Moira can slip free.
I think if it's okay, Daniel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry because
I can't hear what you're saying.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. No, I was muted, so I think there was something off with the whole sound thing there. But no, the moment the moment that Trespass sees what it is that's happening with the whole barrel and shit, she might feel defeated, but clearly the others don't. So she's going to start running that moment when she sees him doing that to get him, basically to tackle him out of the way again, because again.
Of course. Let's do some poetry so that it rhymes.
And the second she's free, she will freeze the middle of her that is stretching away. See if you can snap her in two.
Go, girls!
All right. So, Moira, you get free and you gasp for air because you're free now and no longer being swallowed up by the goop thing. Trespass, you're making your way, rushing over the ice, being cool ninja lady and not slipping on it. Entry.
That's me.
The goop sheet distends above you, threatening to release itself to gravity and squelch down upon you in a wave of slime.
That's right. Come and get me.
So I am hearing the ladies.
It's not every day you hear food talk to you like that.
Nope.
I'm hearing Trespass lining up for a defend, and I'm hearing Moira lining up to spend team to help.
Sounds
no,
like it.
She wants to get the fucking goop lady.
No, I think it's.
She's in a one-track mind to stop the fucking thing because no one else seems to do their fucking job. It's like
As in adult heroes, I assume.
It's just us three who are fighting this fucking thing on our own because no one else in this bloody city overrun with heroes are doing anything.
I mean, the other heroes are making sure that, the Dread Queen doesn't launch nuclear missiles at Halcyon. It's busy being a hero.
Mm-hmm.
But that Moira doesn't necessarily know that.
No, it's right.
She just knows they've always been told to not do the adults' jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Leave it to the
And
heroes.
now they're doing it, damn it. Fucking adult heroes, damn it.
So,
have to pick up the slack, damn it.
Let's go with Trespass. Trespass, you wanna get entry out of dodge.
Yes.
So roll to defend.
Right.
Please save me.
I'd like to.
We have so many fucking
You
conditions.
might be able
This
to
is
use
almost
team to
stupid.
help save yourself, but let's see if it's possible. Savior.
I know exactly
No.
Aw,
Well, that gives me my second increase for today.
holy
Well,
crap.
I think you're reciprocating the save from earlier. Where last time you shoved both of you out of the way to avoid trouble, this time it becomes the literal, like, throw myself in front of the car thing.
Yeah,
You just, like, push him aside as the wave comes down and, like, collapses on top of you. Take a powerful blow.
Right, and... Huh! Yeah, of course, that's the one where I actually rolled high enough.
Cool.
Let me just figure out here what I'm going to do with my next increase.
All right.
And I am going to...
Yeah, that's the only one you don't want a full hit on.
Yeah, well, there is nothing I can do.
The dice do not like you.
No,
today.
they really
The
don't.
dice doesn't like us.
I mean, that was my 9th... sorry, yeah. No, this is my 8th. I've gone from having 2 potential to having completed 2 entire powers in one evening.
It's good stuff.
It's a
You
little
say
much, but now
that,
it
but
feels
it's
like...
frustrating.
Yeah, by now it's
very
starting to feel
frustrating.
extremely frustrating.
I just want it to end, to be completely honest.
Yeah, so do I.
Well, so here, let me give you some like friendly GM advice here. So you've correctly identified at this point in time that you're not really, in terms of powers, super equipped to deal with this person.
No shit.
You've been doing something really smart running this so far, which is like look for things in your landscape to do something. And you can still do that. It's like you can still turn the tables. When a hero gets caught in a situation where their powers and abilities alone aren't sufficient, they have to look outside of those.
That's correct. There's one little itty-bitty detail that requires assess the situation. I have failed 6 rolls in a row where I had to roll against either provoke or assess the situation.
Let me ask you.
Can't.
Here's my counter. Here's my counter to you. Has anyone ever rolled and assessed a situation and not gotten something from me, even on a fail? Remember
Yes, I have actually. Yes, I have actually.
Okay, I guess that's true.
But okay.
But yeah, the point is that this is not D&D. When you want to get over the wall and you fail the climb test, nothing happens. Rarely happens. It just means that I move the fiction. I make a move. So, yeah.
Anyway, let's
You need to resolve
continue on with this and get this over with, and then we can talk a little afterwards.
Let's resolve your move. So you took a powerful blow.
Yeah, I did, and I still haven't even figured out what my advancement is going to be.
Okay.
So if I can do that.
Absolutely.
What? Sorry, everything is just completely.
You don't have to take your advantage right at the second you get it. You can save it for later if that's easier.
But Starlight, I waited till after we were done, and then she had it from the beginning of the next time.
It's a little bit late on your end, so if you want to put that aside, then it's fine.
You can always note down that you need to take one.
Passes out.
Yes, so she passes out from the powerful blow.
Yeah,
Okay.
she gets what's his face?
The goop
Entry out of the way, but then I get knocked out. Probably, I imagine she doesn't actually get swallowed up by it, but the force impact knocks her, head over heels, ass over tea kettle, and she lands in a way that literally knocks her unconscious.
Right. It's like it's like having like a construction truck dump a load of something slimy on you. It still like has an impact, and it like knocks your head against the ice and so on. So
yeah, exactly. So she goes down with a bad case of the outcolds.
All right.
Makes sense in the fiction as well. This is, strictly speaking, the second powerful blow she's taken in a very short while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she is not superhuman. So yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
I know what Mara does.
Yeah. What's up in Moira Town?
I know her superior is horrible, and she has -3 on everything she does with it. But there is only one way we're gonna know how to end this quickly.
I shall do so as well when it's my turn.
So I'm gonna risk it and try to
What a
assess the situation.
Okay. So you're looking around for a solution to the problem.
And who? Wait, who knew?
It's a good call.
She rolled a 3 if you didn't see.
I see it. So
Yeah, not even team can help that one.
it's true. It's true. So you notice. Let's see. Oh yeah, I know. So you're looking around for something, and I hear that so is Entry. Entry's also like looking around for something.
Yes, do you want me to roll as well?
It's fine. You don't have to. I accept that you are like sharing the involvement. It's okay. It's not like you can't participate because it wasn't your turn to roll the dice.
That's fair enough. It's mostly because I'm better at it currently.
I getcha. You look around, and both of you at the same time have this this thing that pops up in your mind. You see on the other side of the other side of the river, there is like as you mentioned, right? Like you're looking for like a fishing something or other.
No,
Yes.
Mara isn't. She just wants something to end this
I know,
now.
but Entry was right. You were looking for that. Like there's I don't know what the right, like a fishing wharf, is that the right word? I don't know.
Yes.
And there's this like stack of like rotting putrescent like nastiness on there, like just like this heap of like gross dead fish and other like nastiness. And both of you have this like thought at the same time. It's like a flashback to the lesson you had in biology about like nutrient groups and about how the body and like how biology reacts to certain things. And the thing like clicks in place, probably like that thought occurs to you, Moira, and you're like, couldn't we do something with? And the more like scientific mind of Entry, you can like quickly do the biology math for a second. And if you make her gorge herself, if you make Cassidy's biology gorge itself on this, and then expose it to the reaction of the like high-powered cooling you're doing and the toxic waste, you can totally shut down her system. You can make her eat too unhealthily.
Okay.
So we just have to point her in the right direction.
I can do that if you get ready to, well, fuck with her.
Ew.
Not like that.
She gingerly picks up Trespass with her tail
Yeah.
and cradles her in it as she tries to, get the attention of the Belch Queen.
I think there's just enough blood coming out of her nose and the corner of her mouth for it to be, worrying.
Yeah.
Right. I'll be the bait. If you get
Then
ready.
you better run fast.
I think I can do you one better, he says, and teleports over there.
All right. What do you do to
by
attract
the way,
attention?
Still dressed, by the way, as a giant can of chemicals.
All right. Do you want to is that what you're doing? Do you double down on the light show and like make yourself like a giant Slurpee machine of ugly stuff?
Yes, I think he might do if he could, he would drag out a cane and do a dance and a top hat and all that.
Hello,
But,
my baby. Hello, my
Exactly. So
Right,
he tries his
now.
very hardest to attract her and say, "Hey, look over here, a snack buffet.
All right.
Why don't you gorge yourself?"
Roll to provoke her.
Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. There we go.
Oh my
Rush.
god, a 13.
Yep.
Well,
she is-
since I'm no longer feeling guilty, I do have +3 on superior.
Oh, right.
So still growing from eating barrels with her offhand, she stops and looks at you, and then she's like, "Rrr." And she looks down. She wants to move towards you. She looks down at the ice at her feet, and then she just slams it, and it cracks. And then she decides that she can't really get super free of it with no trouble. So she does the same thing she did before, where half her body squelch off what you froze, and kind of tears off her own legs, and then distends and shapeshifts back into a normal form. and then wades into the water. She's way smaller now, so she's like just like shoulders over water as she's walking across the basin.
That's it.
Coming towards you. Moira, what are you doing to facilitate this? You know that once this is done, you need to like pepper that cocktail with some chemical sludge and some freeziness.
So she gets ready for that.
She's just like scooping up these like nasty like don't touch irradiated barrels.
She doesn't really have a hazmat suit now, does she?
No, she doesn't. And you already mutated once today, so you know, who cares?
Right now, we have to save Trespass, we have to stop this bitch, and we have to get this over with before she keeps killing people around her. Who knows how many people just drowned?
Exactly, right. It's fine if you have to overhand some nuclear fallout. Let's do this. So you're like making ready.
Hey! Does that count as taking foolhardy action without talking to your team?
You are doing this because of your communication with your team. If you'd just been like, you know what I will do? I am going to do something nasty.
Right.
Here, then, yeah.
He told me to get ready for it. Damn it. Damn
Sorry.
you!
But if you just like, let me do something incredibly stupid, like without consulting anyone, because it might work. Okay, so Cassidy emerges onto the bank across the river and dips into your illusion, absorbing like containers and stacks of like these like fermented rotten garbage. And once it's like inside her outer elastic like form, it starts building gases like all hell inside.
I throw the stuff at her.
Alright? This one, why don't we have you roll to unleash your powers here? You need to do this thing. And it's not like you failed before, right? Like you can make the throw, but this time you need to like embed these things inside of her.
There we go.
Hell yeah! So you do it. Let's see. We get see even the game knows we're like narratively at a dramatic moment. So you
I still have to choose another advancement though, but yeah.
Yeah. You luck the barrels, and they like just like embed inside her, right? Like you hit her with one, then you hit her with another, and you hit her with a third, and she like keeps growing, and she just becomes huge. She like there's the bridge just down, just down from here where Trespass like drove over with Evan, and she's like growing to like the height of the bridge struts. She just becomes enormous and swells outwards as she does so, as the gas builds inside her. Entry? What do you do?
So right now she needs to be frozen, and this was a fish place, right?
You can
Freeze-o-matic!
You can freeze her. Alternatively, fire could also work here. It would have a different kind of effect. It would not be a collapse of her system. It would be an eruption of her system.
Let's try freezing. I don't want slime to be even more slimy than I already am.
All right.
And there's freezing tech nearby. So unleash.
Absolutely. So.
Oh, I actually do it.
There it is. Do you take a condition?
At this point, we're just surprised that we actually do the thing, because we are used to not do the thing.
I guess we still do the thing because, you do the thing even if you fail, but...
No, not
unless AJ wants to up it.
I just make a move if you fail. It's not necessarily that things turn out for the right.
There's a difference in getting what you want and getting what you want, but...
So, you do it. Will you take a condition to do it no strings, or will you do it in a way that is unstable or temporary?
Definitely taking a condition with that one. I'm very tired of this boss encounter. I don't want to make my effect temporary.
All right. So, take what condition do you mark?
Angry.
Yeah, angry.
Wonderful. So, tell me how you introduce Frost to her system with your powers.
I'm certain they have at least some sort of freezer nearby, for storing fish. I think they also might have let's say, a vacuum cleaner for cleaning the place. So I reverse engineer the vacuum cleaner with the fridge to shoot cold at her.
Basically, Freon.
Yeah.
Cool. So you do this, and the effect is like that happens is obvious. Yeah, like her form grows like slower, but her outer membrane hardens. Again, and even though like the gas is building inside of her, her like outer shell grows more taut, and eventually it just like pops and like ruptures like a balloon, like, and she just like starts shrinking and collapses inward, like a
Mara starts the freezing too because fuck her.
Yeah, she collapses inward like a fondue.
Ew.
I think you mean like a souffle.
Did I? What did I say? Fondue?
Fondue.
Yeah.
It's not like a fondue, like a souffle. Thank you. Good catch. Like a souffle, just like collapses downward and in on herself, and the goop like just like flows out and loses all like semblance of structure. It just like runs over the gutters and spills into the river, and once it's like lowered to lowered beyond a certain point, you can see the unconscious form of Cassidy Keel emerge from it, sleeping.
Oh, whew, says Entry as he falls to the ground, leaning against the freezer.
Moira just looks at fucking car hood.
How's Trespass? Is she still?
She's already checking her in her tail.
She's
Out cold.
Like using her own shirt, not her sports bra, but her own shirt to, stop the bleeding from her nose. And checking for vital signs.
Oh, she's alive. I mean, she's still bleeding, so
Yeah, opening her eyes to see how concussed she is. Stuff like that.
That's very difficult when all you see is basically white.
oh well.
Yeah.
Never mind.
She has like a cut on the side of her head or something. She's still
Is she-
doing good.
Is she okay?
She's breathing.
Oh, that's good. Hey, Maury, which I think is a nickname he used when they were small, because, Moira is difficult to say for a young boy.
Cool.
Yeah, Polly.
I'm sorry I teased you earlier. I don't think the old you would have done anything like this, but I'm really glad to know the new you.
She sighed. I'm pretty sure it's just karma. I'm finally looking how ugly I were before, ain't I?
Well, you're real pretty now.
Aww.
Fuck you.
Hey, that wasn't actually sarcasm. I mean that.
She touches her horn. It's pretty obvious that she doesn't see how anyone can see her as pretty, so she took that as full-on ironic and not sarcastic.
Okay, I definitely think that that you're comforting and supporting.
I can try.
Yeah.
Hey,
You somewhat do it! Woohoo! I'm so proud of you.
Nice done. Nice done. So, do you feel comforted and supported, Moira? Excuse me, I can't hear you if you're speaking, AJ.
I'm looking at the comfort and support thing.
Yeah.
On a hit, they hear you. They mark potential clear condition as SIF labels if they open up to you.
So
Well, I think you're the only one. Seeing that woman and that child running away screaming like I'm Satan itself. She touches her horns again. Well, I kinda understand them.
Nah, she was a bitch. I mean,
And as she said, I'm finally the snake I used to be.
actually, you're much better. The old you would not have saved anyone. You would have run and hid, and then you would have excused it with, oh, I can't do anything, even though you had superpowers back then. So, the new year is definitely better. Even if you don't like the way you look.
Do you feel like Moira opened up to you?
Well, she definitely shared some insecurities.
All right. AJ, you may mark potential or clear a condition or shift your labels.
The first thing she does, though, before I do that,
Mm-hmm.
is look at Polly and say, "I'm really sorry I was shit to you."
Yeah, I've
You
got
never-
your back. We're even.
Yeah, well, you never deserved that.
Well, you never really deserved this, he says and gestures to her, either. At least, if you don't like it.
No, but I finally know what it's like to be one of the ones I were an idiot to.
Hey. Morning,
Trespass?
sunshine.
She gently pats her cheeks.
if this
You there?
is, if this is heaven, it's not all it's been cracked up to be.
Sorry, you're still alive.
In my tail. Sorry.
Damn, I have to try harder then.
I don't say that.
But look, we caught her. She turns the tail, so
No.
she's still.
No, you caught her.
Well,
Says,
if you didn't get her.
and she hops out of the tail. You caught her.
Hey,
I
we
spent
couldn't
my-
have done it without your help.
Right.
Well, he's right. We couldn't. If you hadn't gotten him out of the way, you wouldn't have been able to impersonate a. What were you?
Yeah, I mean, you saved me twice, and you slowed her down long enough for me to finish my bomb, which, again, I'm sorry I almost blew you up.
She.
If you hadn't done the things you'd done, we wouldn't have gotten here.
She looks at both of them with. There's a very strange look on her face. Probably not one. I think they're going to be able to understand without at least without a roll.
Do you feel like you were
Unless they pierce the mask, they're not going to be able to figure out.
No, but we're trying to comfort and support her.
I
So what-
want to
what
try
do
and
you-
pierce the mask.
Okay,
Just
why
to
don't
see
we?
if I can figure it out.
Sure. Why don't you pierce the mask then? It's being called out, so that's a good sign that we should use it.
Because I can't.
So
Whoa!
That's a potential for.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
take a
What happens a lot today?
Mm-hmm.
In the space we've been playing, I got 5 plus 3, so 8.
Yep. Me too.
Wonderful.
She just shakes her head and says, "Never mind."
So,
Right.
tell me, Trespass, how you feeling?
She feels like there's a lot of emotion going through her. First and foremost, she feels incredibly ashamed of herself for having done what for having done just a moment.
Yeah.
She feels incredibly ashamed for having had the whole villain thing once again of having admitted defeat. The heroes are not supposed to lose; they're not supposed to give up, and she was right there on the verge of it, and she had given up. And if the others hadn't continued to fight, she would have been right back in her old habits. That shames her incredibly. Secondly,
and you don't have,
she
like,
doesn't.
enough self-awareness to recognize that, like, jumping into safe entry there was totally heroic. That's not a thought that occurs to her.
Not whatsoever. In fact, she sees her own contributions in all of this as being completely unimportant and totally irrelevant. This was a victory against something unbelievably powerful, won by the people who actually had powers, not by her.
Oh, the poor
So she
girl.
feels like a drag on the group more than an asset at the point, and she really would prefer to be just about anywhere else in the world, except right here with these people right now.
You know what? I hear you, okay? And I want to acknowledge that your character feels this way. I am going to do something like I'm going to introduce an element just to the fiction right here to throw a curveball at your character and their self image. I'm not telling you how to feel, but I'm giving you something to work with, okay?
Yeah, sure.
You're feeling this way. You're like having a bad time of it, and you're just like looking away, and your eyes like trace down along the river. Like you're sitting here on the bank, and you see the crew from the tugboat like drag themselves out of the river and like helping each other up, and one of them is like reaching down and like yanking up the guy who was at the helm, and they're like like wringing their clothes and like drying themselves off, and the captain like looks down. He notices the three of you sitting there, and he sees you, and he doesn't say anything, but he gives you a thumbs up. And like tends to his crew.
Yeah, and she gives him a thumbs up back and puts on a brave smile. But her feeling of the matter is, I put these men in mortal danger. I accomplished absolutely bog all to show for it. I probably cost them their livelihoods because that ship isn't going to float again. So yeah, great hero me.
Cool. So now I've given you that to think about. So when someone brings up the fact that the barge would have been subsumed were it not for you and their efforts, then you can call back to this if you want to.
Yep.
But I think we're coming up on the end here, so I want you all to have the chance to like round off if you have like any like final words for each other. If you have like a mental image for the last panel of you guys like doing something, sitting on the harbor front with the unconscious form of Cassidy Keel, or whatever, like however you imagine the comic rounding off. Now is a good chance to throw in.
I imagine them just sitting there looking extremely exhausted.
I imagine Moira getting up, saying, "I'm getting out of here before the media storm."
Yeah, and I think Trespass isn't actually even going to say anything. She's going to shrug. You know?
Right, I'll just wait here with the unconscious woman then, until someone else shows up.
I think she's probably going to call the cops on the way, but you know, she's not going to say anything.
I think the cops might be on their way.
If you want to, you could peace out here. Like the last panel could literally be like the sailors from the tugboat with Cassidy Keel wrapped in a blanket, handing her over to the cops.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
All right, cool. Then let's go with that. All right, so
with a Misfit stamp in her head.
Yes.
Like a sticker.
You need like
on her forehead.
You need like you know, like a quick fire like stamp or something. Like you need like a smiley like blowing raspberries or something like as a calling card. But yeah, so that's, I think we'll end on that panel. We'll fade out last image of this comic book, and we'll have you do your finishing moves. So
yes,
please, starting at the top, Constrictor. What's your end of session move?
I have to look them up again. Which one are they on again?
They're on page 2. They're called the end of session move.
Closer, image of yourself, grow away from the team. I think she grew into her own image of herself.
Rad. How do you see yourself?
It can't go beyond 3, can it?
It can't. You can't raise a stat beyond 3.
Then I'm going to shift Savior up to 0.
Alright.
Because at least she proved she could do that.
Damn right.
But her mundane goes down because she looks less like a human than ever before.
Yeah, you feel rejected in some way. Cool.
No shit! Monster! Whale! Run.
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, cool. Trespass. What's your end of session?
She grew away from the team.
Yeah, and I think you ventured into why you feel detached.
Yeah, she feels useless basically.
You don't see your own contribution in this matter for
Nope,
the
not whatsoever.
essential hand that it was.
Yeah.
Cool. Who
I
do you
can't
take
even
influence
remember
away from?
if both of you two have influence.
I do not.
I do not.
Nope.
Okay.
Well,
Who
in that
do you
case,
want?
then
Who
I
on the
can't
team
say-
do you want to take influence away from?
Yeah, but neither of the ones who were here actually have influence over me already. So
That's true, but we'll just take it away from someone else. It doesn't matter who. It's just the team you grow less attached to.
Well, I think Vanguard is the only one who has.
Recon
Yeah, I think Vanguard.
Recon has over you. Vanguard.
That's true.
Vanguard
Vanguard
also.
also.
Wouldn't it make sense that if she grew away from the team, that the influence over her is removed from the quote-unquote leader?
I suppose that
leave
could
to
be.
you.
No, you know what? This is messy because of this, and I can argue why she would grow into her own image as well. So I think if that's all right, I'll change it to that.
I'll accept that if you feel like that's right.
I can do that because the point is, of course, that she's still seeing herself as one of the bad guys, and that she's posturing and trying to be something she's really not.
Oh, that's gross. I love it. Okay.
Gross?
Yeah, it is.
How's it gross?
It's gross because it's like self-gaslighting, right? She does like an amazing job, and because she doesn't do it perfectly, she just like hammers down on herself. And
Yeah,
Well,
like
she has been going on about how she needs to be perfect.
right? It's like
So it's totally in character.
yeah, it's like
It is.
It's it's tonally consistent with the behavior you displayed earlier.
Yes.
So okay, how do you see yourself? We know that, but what do you change your labels to?
Her superior goes down to -2,
Okay.
and her, I think her freak goes up.
Danger of Freak would work there because villain.
Wonderful. All right.
So I went from being the most balanced person in the group, but at the beginning of tonight, with nothing above 1 and nothing below 0, to having a superior of -2 and a savior of -1 and a freak and a danger of 2 and a mundane of 3 in one evening.
Isn't it just
Holy
tasty?
crap.
Having
That is absurd.
our self-image gets jostled around a lot in the world of superheroics.
I mean, I got 2 advancements.
Yeah.
I still have to pick the second one.
Oh, yeah, I unlocked my moment of truth as the second one.
Excellent. Entry.
Yes. Well, I think Entry felt like he grew closer to the team, and I think Moira was the reason for that.
Cool. Give influence to Moira.
Here
How?
you go. Because she made him acknowledge that he was treating her unfairly, or well, circumstances made that apparent, and she basically helped him become a better team player.
Mushy.
Also, they helped each other a lot, all of them, throughout the session.
Indeed.
And I mean, you threw him into a goo monster. That requires a lot of trust.
Either that or lack of consent.
Yes, you consensually threw him into a goo monster.
So
and it worked.
So
Moira,
you gain influence?
you already have influence over Entry, don't you?
No, I had over Vanguard and a Ringmaster.
Okay, cool. Well,
I now have over Entry.
Excellent. What do you choose? Potential or clearing a condition?
I will clear condition.
All right. Cool. In that case.
Yeah, I think next time will be condition clearing because holy shit.
Yeah.
We've played for a while now, so I think we'll round off.
Yep.
Do anyone have a good idea for the issues cover?
I have one.
Yeah. What do you think?
Basically, I just thought, the picture of the three of them standing in the middle of the cover with an ick expression and covered in goo.
Yes.
Wonderful. What do you think the title is?
A sticky situation.
Yes.
Perfect. Yep. Alright, so A Sticky Situation, issue 2 of Misfits is hereby done. Thank you very much for playing, everyone. You're always a treat to have on. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to CharismaToAC and joining us in our superheroic teenage nonsense. Always nice to put on a show for you, and we'll be back in the future with even more goodness from these characters. Until then, we're out. Peace.
Bye.